don't get it. It really is true that when you learn about yourself, you learn how to tailor your life.
Alongside the technology that they depend on, the EDM that is mostly in the raps from music of heavy metal would not sound the same without electric guitars. K-pop and hip-hop also use a lot of electric instruments and technology. On the other hand, some new music styles, like funk and reggae, chorus and singing about social problems and difficult times.
So, out of all of those, heavy metal, K-pop, hip-hop, punk, reggae, what is your favourite type of music?
Everything except for the rock and roll.
Do you like K-pop?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Why do you like K-pop?
Why? I don't know if you said why.
I like K-pop because it is high energy, it is fast-paced, it is very fun. There is a really happy feel to the music. So that's why I like K-pop. Hip-hop? Yes. Yes. So, very close. EDM is this one. And heavy metal is this one. So heavy metal is rock, but it is very intense. It's quite loud, very heavy on the guitar. Time to see what I can do to test the limits and break the rule. No right, no wrong, no rules for me. I'm free. Let it go, and I'll rise like the break of dawn. Let it go, that perfect girl is gone. Here I stand, and here I'll stay. Let the storm rage on. The cold never bothered me anyway. I went to go and see Frozen on Saturday. I went to see Frozen the musical. I drove to London, which probably sounds a little bit crazy, driving to London, but I am not a public transport kind of girl. I find getting the train and the bus and the tubes, I just find them very stressful. Yeah, I much prefer being in my own space, driving in the car. I can put my songs on, I can sing along. I just find it so much more relaxed, you know? And I left Birmingham at like 10:30 in the morning, intending to get to London for 1:30 because the show started at 2:30, and I ended up missing half of the show because basically there was a march that was happening around London, so police had cornered off and closed certain roads that I needed to drive down to be able to get to my car park. So yeah, I ended up missing half of Frozen, but never mind. I still watched half of it and I really had a good time watching that half. It's my birthday next week. When you're watching this, my birthday will have already been and gone. So I thought I would treat myself to go and watch Frozen the musical, because why not? Happy birthday to me. So I've had Frozen songs stuck in my head for this weekend. Obviously all the songs from Frozen are great. My favourite song, well, I've got a few favourite songs, but potentially my favourite song is Monster. Is it called Monster? But the one that goes, if I'm a monster, then it's true. There's only one thing that's left for me to do. But before I say I cannot be a monster. I will not be a monster. And then she does that really big note where she goes, not tonight. But she does it obviously bigger and better than that because, I mean, it's Elsa. So yeah, that's probably one of my favourite songs because it's just like such a cool song. What if after I'm gone, the cold gets colder and the storm rages on? No, I have to stay alive to fix what I've done, save the world from myself and bring back the sun. If I'm a monster, then it's true. There's only one thing that's left for me to do. So yeah, I've had Frozen stuck in my head all weekend. The window's open, so's that door. I didn't know they did that anymore. I want to put some chocolate in my face. And then we laughed and danced all evening, which is totally bizarre. For the first time in forever. Oh my god, my break's about to be over. This break has gone really quickly. I mean, it's not the longest break, it's like 20 something minutes, but I'm not ready to go back into the classroom. I'm not ready. I would like to have another half an hour, please. You know, that would be great.
You're gone now, will you coming back? Yeah, I know that, yeah, I know that. You're the traveling kind, it's a known fact. Yeah, I know that. Once you've seen all the things, all the places, I hope it means that you'll come home to me. Once you've traveled the world, all the spaces inside your heart.
Tell me why it's June. What day is it in June today? It's Monday the 10th of June and I am wearing a jumper. It's supposed to be summer by this point. I don't know when the weather is going to get the memo, but lots of rain and cloudy days is pretty much what we've had the majority of June and May as well. Like, what has happened to the summer in the UK? But it feels like it's basically winter. It's really weird. And apparently, according to Google, it's going to be one of the wettest summers in 40 years or something like that. So we've got more rain to come. But then again, saying that, as much as I love the sun, like I absolutely love nothing more than seeing a blue sky, and like just having a bit of sunshine just puts you in a good mood automatically, doesn't it? But at the same time, having worse weather means that it's a bit quieter at home, so it's a bit more like cozy and private, whereas when the weather is great, there's like lots of neighbours like all around my windows and stuff. Not all the time, but you know, it's just obviously everyone wants to enjoy the sunshine, which is lovely, and I want people to enjoy the sunshine, but I just wish that I had a bit of a separate space so that I didn't feel so like, not claustrophobic, but I like my space. And a lot of the time in the summer, like obviously there's lots of kids like running about outside by the windows, and sometimes neighbours sunbathing underneath your front door and things like that, which is fine. So I suppose one good thing about this worse weather just means that, yeah, I have a little bit more privacy. I always feel like a bit of a, not a miserable person, but like I always feel a bit mean saying that I like my privacy, but I guess it's not me being mean, it's just my preference. So I just like it to be, when I'm at home it's like my safe space, my, you know, my place to just relax, unwind, and just be my most vulnerable self, you know? And I feel just so much more peaceful when it is more quiet around me and I can't hear too much going on around. Just personal preference. Yesterday, got a frog in my throat. yesterday evening. I was just sat there on the sofa reading a book last night, and all of a sudden I see somebody like walking past these windows here. Like, I think people were playing outside with their football or something, so I saw like a man walking past just here, and it kind of just made me jump because I was, you know, engrossed in my book on the sofa in my pajamas, and then I just see someone like around the windows, and I was like, oh, my heart jumped into my throat. So yeah, I think as well, because I'm on the ground floor, so being on the ground floor means that you can be eye level with people sometimes, which can just sometimes be a little bit awkward or uncomfortable. Maybe if I was higher up, I don't think I would mind as much. I think it's just because I'm on the ground. Just got back from Sainsbury's, and I was just wondering, with the oat milk, you get one from the fridge section which says chilled style, and on the back of it says keep refrigerated, do not freeze. So this one you have to put in the fridge. But then this one, which is exactly the same oat milk, except it doesn't say keep chilled, it just says no added sugar, whatever. So they're both essentially the same oat milk, but one has to be chilled in the fridge and one doesn't. And I wonder why, because they are basically the same. So I did a little Google, as you do. I mean, Google is the answer to anything and everything these days. So I looked on Google. So basically, somebody online put onto, you know, one of those forums you get, like Reddit, but there's different versions where people ask questions and then people answer. And then somebody asked the same thing that I was wondering, basically. And guess what her name is? June. Her name is June. Isn't that so strange that I'm wondering that question, and then somebody else, completely different person, but the name is June, has asked this question too? Is that not weird? So June said, so what is the difference between these two versions? Why does one need to be called? What is left out in the ingredient list that makes it a must-call product? And then Sophia, who I'm guessing works for Barista California Farms, I don't know, to be honest, but she said, hey June, what a unique name you have. Thanks for your question. And then I was thinking, is June a unique name? I guess it's kind of different. I mean, I have never met a June in all of my life. So yeah, they said, hey June, what a unique name you have. Thanks for your question. The only difference between the long life ambient and the chilled is in the packaging. The ingredients are the same for both. Let me know if you have any further questions. But I'm still confused, because if the ingredients are exactly the same for both, and they are exactly the same for both, why does one need to be chilled and one doesn't? I don't get it. I don't get it.
So much, 'cause I really care too much. It's all just overwhelming, I'm just overthinking. I feel like I'm too much. Keep mistaking my anxiety for intuition, and stress keeps getting in the way of my ambition. Logically, I know I shouldn't feel this way, but my body doesn't agree with my brain. I'm looking over my shoulder, worrying it's over before it starts. I'm looking
just reading Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before by Dr. Julie Smith. Julie is a psychologist, a doctor, and she makes videos on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube as well, I think, about mental health and how we can help ourselves. So yeah, she's also brought out this book as well. I'll read you the blurb. The tools I share in this book are mostly taught. Is that a spelling mistake? It says are mostly taught in therapy. I think it's meant to say are mostly taught in therapy. Never mind. But they are not therapy skills, they are life skills. Tools, oh, there's another spelling mistake. I think it's supposed to say tools, but it says tools with a D. Can you see that? The first spelling mistake has in repeated twice, and then the word tools has a D on it instead of just TOOLS. I mean, it doesn't matter because, you know, it's about the content, not about the spelling mistakes. But yeah, that's funny that there are 2 spelling mistakes in like one sentence. But anyway, let's start that again. So, the tools I share in this book are mostly taught in therapy, but they're not therapy skills, they are life skills. Tools that can help every single one of us to navigate through difficult times and to flourish. When we understand a little about how our minds work and how we have some guideposts on how to deal with our emotions in a healthy way, we not only build resilience, but we can thrive and grow. So far I am 134 pages into this, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's really eye-opening. I just find it absolutely fascinating learning about how we are as people, the way our minds work, the way our brains work, the way that we perceive the world and how that has such a huge effect on us and the way we live our lives. I think the way this book is written is really great because I like the way that it simplifies everything in a very easy to understand kind of way. You know, sometimes when you have lots of waffle and fancy words that sound impressive, but you're a little bit confused and you're like, what? But this is just very straight to the point, makes so much sense. And I just really like the way she explains everything. It's very easy, very manageable, very digestible. Each chapter is succinct enough. This thing as well that she described, it's called metacognition, I think it's called, where basically as human beings, we have the power to not only have a thought, but we can have a thought about a thought. We can look at that thought and step back from it rather than just being solely in the thought. Like, we are able to have a bird's eye view on what we're thinking, which is quite a powerful thing. We all have our own default ways that we do things, you know. I suppose what Julie is trying to help us to do is to realise that we can shift our way of thinking, and even if we have a thought, we can look back on that thought and see how we can change our actions. And it's not about getting rid of the thoughts, because as human beings we're always going to have lots of thoughts. It's more about just analysing and really thinking about what those thoughts mean and asking yourself questions and being curious. And I think it's just brilliant that we have books like these, and we have so many books that we can learn from. A lot of the time, the way that we live our lives, that's just the way that we live our lives. We don't always have another reference point, or maybe the reference point that we do have is from a parents, family members who are also maybe misguided. So referring to psychologists and the people of the world who write books, who have a real deep dive and great knowledge, is a really handy thing. It really is true that when you learn about yourself, you learn how to better tailor your life, and then you just learn how to help yourself. Oh, I've got pins and needles. You know, when you've been sitting for too long, so your leg is like, my leg has gone to sleep. Oh no. Ha 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 ha. Just give it a little stretch. I've put my earplugs in now because this is the time that my neighbours get home, and it's just a little bit of activity for a little while, so just so I can continue to read my book in peace and quiet. And I'm a little bit hungry, so I've got an apple. Dinner time is near, but it's not quite dinner time yet, so I just need a little something to keep me going. So I've got a nice pink lady apple. Look how red that apple is. Is it me, or is that, you know, it looks like the apple you'd get from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's very red, isn't it? That is going to taste great. Juicy. Nice and juicy.
When I look at you like that, you lose it completely. Losing track of space and time. I don't wanna go home looking for a reason to stay here all night. I wonder, do you feel it too? Magic between me and you, the way that you make me feel. You wonder if I feel the same. The blood's rushing through your veins, and then when I say your name, bet I'm everything you see. Bet I'm everything you need. We're high on this feeling, don't wanna come down. Just don't wanna tell me, get into my eyes, and everything you need.
So dinner is cooking away nicely. I've got my mince in the microwave from my food prep that I cooked yesterday, so that's nice. I just had to cook the rice and the vegetables, which was easy peasy. And I am just watching a bit of Love Island on my phone. Love Island is back. It has started again, which is super exciting. I am such a Love Island fan. You either love reality TV or you hate it. And some people absolutely hate it because they say like, oh, it's just mindless TV, but I love it. I love a bit of reality TV. So my family always hate it whenever they know that I'm watching Love Island. They're always like, oh, June, that is such trash TV. And I'm like, yes, I know, and I absolutely love it. There's the timer for the broccoli. Time's up. Oh, good timing because the mince is also ready too.
Hey, girls.
You look nice tonight. Oh, I do.
You alright?
Yeah, we are. Where are we going?
Yeah, we
Look
can
at
do this,
that.
can't we? Out of the way.
That is lovely, isn't it?
There's a jacuzzi and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, as well.
One man down. One man down.
Potential
Yeah.
connection with people in here. I'll still.
Had to throw away a piece of broccoli because it dropped on the floor. Never mind, I've still got plenty of broccoli here. But
I think he's a gentleman. He respects women. However, obviously, everyone loves a bad boy, don't they? I'm just not sure.
Hey, Harriet.
that girl just goes, everyone loves a bad boy, don't they? I don't. I like a nice boy. A really kind, genuine, funny, nice boy. I don't want a bad boy, thank you. I actually find it such a turn off when a guy is rude. Like, especially when a guy is rude to waiters, and like, I'm just like, oh, that's so icky. So everyone says that though. You hear people say that all the time, don't you? That everyone loves a bad boy, but I don't. I would like someone who is very secure and as healthy as possible in their attachment style, and, you know, potentially emotionally intelligent. That would be fantastic. Am I asking for too much? I don't know. Not that I'm perfect, I am far from perfect. In terms of attachment styles actually, because you have secure, which means that you're just great, avoidant, which means obviously you kind of avoid connections sometimes, and then you have anxious, which means that you are always scared that the person's going to leave, so you're kind of always doing anything you can to keep them with you. I thought I was secure, but I don't know, sometimes I think I might be avoidant. I don't know. I just love my own company so much. I love being single so much that the thought of being in a relationship is like so daunting. But then again, I mean, I've been single for 10 years, so anyone would feel the same way. But I just think to myself, the thought of sharing a home with another guy, like the thought of, I just can't imagine it, you know? I can't imagine it. I love my own routine, but when the time's right and I find that person that is the right person, I probably won't feel like that, but anywho. So dinner's ready. It really does not look aesthetic at all, but I mean, who cares? It's food and it tastes great. We've got the broccoli, we've got the rice, the mince under there, and a bit of ketchup on top as well. And yeah, I'm eating it out of a little Tupperware because sometimes it's just easier to wash up than a plate. Is that a bit lazy? Maybe, but I don't know. Yeah, so I'm gonna dig into this, watch the rest of Love Island, and just chill for the next half hour or so until I get ready for bed. Thank you so much for spending the day with me, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.